Ready?
Ready?
Oh, look at
Good boy. Yum.
Yum, 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 yum.
Wow.
Hi.
Is that just a nylon? rope?
Yeah, string you can buy anywhere. Nothing really special. Because they're going to hit the end of that and go to ground. They're not going to try and keep flying, pulling against it or anything, if they're hitting too much resistance. So today he is eating quail, which for a hawk is extremely rich. It's kind of like his chocolate cake, which means he is going to put on a lot of weight tonight. But he loves it. We cut it up small so it's easy for us to manage, but he does eat everything from the quail. He will eat the feathers, the bones, the organ meat. He does have a crop, so it all goes down to the crop. The good stuff, the nutritious stuff, digests down and continues on down to the rest of the digestive tract. The stuff he can't do anything with gets packed together and coughed up as a pellet, very similar to an owl. The main difference is an owl doesn't actually have a fully formed crop. So the owl is unable to digest bone. So a lot of students in grade school get to dissect owl pellets and put together the bones and see what that owl ate. Hawks, eagles, falcons, they all do have the crop. They do digest the bone, so you wouldn't be able to dissect his pellet and put together his bones. You could take the feathers and such out, run DNA tests, that kind of stuff. So scientists will still use their pellets in research, but yeah. Ready?
Ready. Sometimes he gets a little intimidated from this direction because he doesn't have one of us on in between him and you guys, so we might have to.
Let's see if he'll.
He
go
did it
backwards.
the other day, really well. You wanna give him
Go ahead and call him again. See if we'll turn around.
Zeki.
I know this is different. No.
Just switch sides.
Come on. There you go. Nope.
That'll be his next trick.
It just makes so peaceful.
It was just really funny. We didn't recognize that pattern when we were doing our outreach, and then all of a sudden it made sense. And then for a while, before he got more used to the kids, we would just switch sides every time. So we would always be in between. But funny little things that matter so much to these guys. They know everything. They know, you know, your habits and things like that. So.
I notice you're able to use your ungloved hand around him quite a bit. So he's not likely to.
His personality and behavior, no. I mean, there's always an inherent risk.
Yeah. But as a rule, he's pretty.
Yeah. He's pretty well conditioned to it. This actually is kind of a calming thing for him.
I saw that.
And he also, they're so visual, so it brings his attention back. So he's not getting overwhelmed by all this, like, new things and the environment around him. But yeah, he's great. Not all birds are like this. Some are better, some are way worse. Whoopi, oh, there's no way. Aragon? There's no, I would never.
Unprotected hand.
Also, a large part of it is the species. Red tails are notoriously footsie. So if you're up here, away from their foot, they don't seem to realize they have a beak that could do any damage.
Oh.
So it's very species specific.
I'm definitely more fearful of his feet than his beak.
Okay.
Do they ever have their moments like our Amazons? You know, I mean, do they just
Their
have
days.
days where they're like, stay away from me?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, dedefinitely. But I don't think quite as dramatic
No.
because they're not social.
Because I noticed you got really close to his beak.
I know, we've been working on that.
That's one of the beauties of them being a pretty solitary species. As humans, we're social, so some days we just, we have the day we don't want to go out and
Moody.
do anything with anyone. Leave me alone. So that's very true of social animals. Solitary animals, it's largely what he's accustomed to around his dinner time. Okay. Everything with these birds is food and time. Giving them time to get used to it as part of feeding routines.
How much do you feed him per day, like one quail?
No, it depends. It depends on the season. It depends on his weight. Right now he's eating about 70 grams, an average of 70 grams every day. But that can change. When he goes into a molt, we'll want to feed him more because then his feathers will come in nicer. So, like I said, it depends on the season and metabolism.
How many grams is a quail?
Depends, but I average 130, yeah.
130, yeah.
So about.
And we order the food grade quail, so if you went to a 5-star restaurant and ordered the quail, you're eating the same quail that we're giving him, it's just processed differently.
Yeah.
And if we were feeding him mice, we would feed him more grams because the meat is different, like Alex was saying. The quail meat is so much richer. The mice don't have that much muscle and fat, so their skin and organs. So it really just depends. But it's largely determined by their weight.
Do they tend to get fat?
He will.
Oh, he will.
So we weigh, birds have a very straightforward digestive system. So we can weigh him every single day. If he's 1,000 grams today and I feed him 70 grams and tomorrow he is 110, he is digesting 60 grams of meat per day. And if I want him to gain meat, I can feed him more than the 60 grams. If I want him to lose weight, I can feed him less than the 60 grams. It's beautiful how straightforward their digestive system is because it really governs our ability to feed and care for him.
And how much does he weigh? I mean, his healthy weight?
Right now he probably weighs about 1,000.
Which every falconer looks at us like, wow, he's huge.
They think he's huge. But falconers typically keep their birds at a lower weight because if they're overweight, they won't hunt and they might not come back. But
the rule of thumb is you let them get as hefty as they're still willing to do things.
Behaving.
If they're so fat that they're lethargic, not wanting to go around, move around, do anything, then he's too fat.
Yeah.
If he's still moving around doing things, then he's at a good weight still.
We've been told repeatedly that he's overweight, but he performs, he does what we ask him to, and that's our main indicator of whether or not he's overweight or not. And also the keel, which is also what I'm doing when I feel here. I've felt him very overweight before. Right now.
How many of you keel your parrots?
Yeah.
So
that's one of the ways you can maintain their weight. The keel is their breastbone, and so you can check how much meat they're putting on at the keel, and that's one way. Kind of like us, if our belly is sticking way out, versus if somebody has like no belly and you can see their spine from the front, you can kind of start to get an estimate on weight. That's one way that you can estimate the weight of a bird is by feeling how much meat is at their breastbone.
Do you always chop his food, or do you ever throw like half a bird? Because I know you want to weigh it and know how much he's getting, but you said he eats the feathers and all. So do you always chop it?
Nope.
You sometimes just here's the bird.
yeah, it's a good
When we're doing
enrichment.
this is when we chop up the food really small. Now, if I'm just taking a walk around Animal Ark with him, I leave the food very big, so he has to really work at the bones, because that's gonna, their beaks are keratin, like your fingernails, and continually grow. So he's not eating the hard food like the pellets that we give our parrots. So we have to make sure he's getting really big, heavy, hard bones to work on. Like rat heads are extremely tough. So rats are very hard-headed. But that really works his beak quite a bit to get down on it. So we'll give him much larger chunks of food to work on in those situations.
So they're dead?
Yes. We order frozen food.